All right, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. I'm back. This is Glen Rockney, and just like in my last episode, which was after what was that, the Dolphins game when we were all sad. After my last episode with Matt Fallon, I got Matt Fallon on this time. Let's try to fix the Raiders, right? Let's fix the Raiders.
Yeah, good luck.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's not.
I don't know.
Well,
I was optimistic last offseason, like going into last offseason, I was so optimistic. And then I was like, that last offseason was such a train wreck. In retrospect, they just didn't, not one move worked out. Like Nelson Aguilar worked out or whatever, but they were 1 for 30 on it was bad. There was a lot of misses there, the high price misses and the draft pick misses.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So speaking of Nelson Aguilar, after that Dolphins game, this news didn't come out after the Dolphins game. It actually came out last week. I think it was per Vic Tafer. Nelson Aguilar kind of just called the team a bunch of losers, basically, right after the Miami game. And so it's weird because why is he doing it?
Well, and I think maybe I think there's been reports that it was fabricated. Then there's been reports that and then there's been reports there's certain mouthpieces that you can tell already that the organization has in Las Vegas. And they're oh, well, this happens after every loss,
Oh, fuck
not
that.
true. Not true. Second, you have a $100 million head coach and you have a captain quarterback who I'm not getting into a Carr debate right now, but you have a quarterback that's the captain of the team. Your defensive captains are Malik Collins.
One year deal, captain.
Yeah, it's absurd. The whole thing's absurd. I don't know, dude, where the leadership is from top to bottom in that team. The hierarchy, we've talked about this before, with Mayock and Gruden. The Raiders just never have a normal hierarchy of the way that things go.
It's true.
And that you rarely see that work out in a professional sports atmosphere in any sport.
Belichick,
Jerry Jones and the Cowboys.
Belichick pretty much is the only
and Belichick's it's Belichick's way or the highway, and he's pretty much the only one that's had that success.
Right.
But and it's just hard because you don't we don't know the exact thing, but I know that Gruden has the 100% say.
Of course.
So you got this guy Mayock who's just the mouthpiece for Gruden. He's not making any high level decisions, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And then what Delaney does the contracts. So really, what's Mayock's role on this team besides being a scapegoat for people?
There's one, and I'm with you because it would line up with a lot of the things we see, right? Like John Gruden not knowing personnel very well. But the only thing is there's two reasons why I don't know why. First off, why is Mike Mayock there? Like you said, why would Mark Davis come out of pocket knowing to just fill an empty role, right? Here, I'm going to pay Mike Mayock for the next 4 years.
No, and I'm sure he offers his talent evaluation. I'm sure
and it gets tossed in the fucking paper shredder on Gruden's desk.
When it comes to pick 20 or when it comes to pick 17 this year, and Jamar Chase is there, and he won't be, but Jamar Chase, I said this on Twitter. Jamar Chase is there and some defensive stud. You don't think Gruden's going to take the best wide receiver in college football again? He's going to do that.
Look, the bar is so low that get a good player. I don't give a shit. Get a good player.
The bar is so low that I would take a player who gets a second contract. He doesn't have to be.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying I want somebody that's going to start for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
Colton Miller's the best. Colton Miller, the last 3 years is the best draft pick. I mean,
at this
we'll
point,
see.
I don't know if Damon Arnett and Jonathan Abram get a second contract, and I don't know if they even play for another team. They're bad.
I gotta ease up on Arnett, but I don't think I didn't like the pick of Arnett. But here's my other reason. We'll get into that in a sec. The Mike Mayock. The other thing is how do you explain the Lynn Bowden situation? Because I don't think Gruden made that. So Gruden did not make that pick. I guarantee you Gruden didn't make that pick. There's no way he picks a running back that doesn't know how to pass protect.
No. And here's what it comes down to. There's no leadership from top to bottom. It started with the COVID stuff. And I'm not a big COVID, I've had it, right. I'm not a big, I'm scared of COVID, but there's protocols in place and every other team is following them. And there's teams that didn't, but most of the teams are. And, the Raiders didn't. Then you have guys on Twitter arguing with, people like me, it wasn't, but surprisingly, I've never really beefed with a player.
They're brothers, yes, not a player, but
The brothers, yeah, that's a whole other story. But like, there's people they're arguing with fans on Twitter, and like, so like I said that in week 6, I'm like it's not normal.
yeah,
And like everyone's like, all the stands are like, oh, well, you know what? They're winning. They can do whatever. No, that's not how it works. Like, you're a professional football player.
yeah.
You should not care what fattest Malin has to say about your football.
Just make it mutual
Just,
followers only on your replies. That's the only notifications you see. You don't even see the fucking
or just
guys.
play better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, play better.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not the same thing, but like, you're an In-N-Out Burger, you work there, and you're bad to a customer, and you get a bad review on Yelp.
Yeah.
Okay. The In-N-Out employee doesn't go back to Yelp and scream and yell at the person. It's just the way it is. So you're a professional football player. You're paid to entertain. That's pretty much what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, anyway, that off topic. I'm just saying the leadership from top to bottom throughout the whole season has been missing. Right. So like Lynn Bowden comes in, you got a kid who, like, obviously was like a bad example. Honestly, I think he had Henry Ruggs out with him or something.
That was what I said with us. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were like, oh, well, you can't taint Henry Ruggs, so you're cut. And here's the thing. You don't take a project, like a player that is a project that like might not have a position in the NFL currently, and give him half of an off season. Like he didn't like go off in Miami or anything, but they found a role for him late in that season, and he was getting 6 or 7 targets a game. Like, he was getting more targets than
Brian
Ruggs and Edwards.
Yeah, the guy picked right after him. Yeah.
So I'm not like this like big like everybody that leaves the Raiders is good. Like, they like Carl Joseph. Everyone is like trying to say that he had a great year, and he didn't. He's not good. Like he's better than what we had, which is like saying
that's what I mean. We don't fucking replace the guy. That's the problem. They don't. They get asked to do. They get asked to do barely anything. Yeah,
he's not a good NFL player. So like him playing like average, like below average, which is good for the Raiders because our guys play like ass. So like, I mean, I would take below average, just slightly below average player, because I don't want to watch Eric Harris get burned for the 53rd time this fucking year. Like, I'm so sick of Eric Harris.
Right.
I'm so sick of Dalen Levitt, and it's like, you got these guys out there that would not make a roster in any other team because they're grinders. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my point is, I would like this grinder thing. Okay. You're supposed to have all these leaders, like they're grinders. And we drafted Cleveland Farrell because he's a leader. Yeah. There's no fucking leaders on that defense. There's not one.
Yeah.
Your leader's Jonathan Abram, and he gets a 15-yard penalty every game for running his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit. They don't. The whole thing.
And the only people that push back, and like the people I saw pushing back on the Aguilar story was like Daryl Worley. It's like, dude, I forgot you were on the fucking team, dude. Like,
I'm sorry. I thought you were still chasing the receiver like 10 months later.
That's what I'm saying. I was like
he's still chasing the receiver. Yeah. Daryl Worley is the slowest football player that I've ever seen.
True.
He goes on a couple podcasts, and he becomes a fan favorite.
Right.
And it's like, and that's fine. Like, like we've talked about this before, and I think like people like have different definitions of a fan. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm never going to knock anybody for being a fan of how they want to fan the football team.
Correct.
For me, it's been 25 years and I'm still rooting for a loser. So I'm going to call them a loser until they prove me otherwise. And they haven't. Like,
not going to go to the Niners? You're not going to go to the Niners?
No.
I know.
It's too late for that, bro. Like, it's too late. Like, why would I do it now? Like, it's like I've already suffered.
And it wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be the fucking Niners. Let me tell you that much.
And I don't think the Niners have a good coach, and that's a lot of it. But like, go from rooting for Derek Carr to rooting for Jimmy G. I mean, like, I'm definitely
or Derek Carr when he gets traded there. Yeah,
I'm definitely not going to downgrade my quarterback position. Yeah. Like, if I'm switching teams, I'm switching to like, somebody that like the Bengals or whatever. Like, okay, I got Burrow for the future or something.
Yeah.
Like, but
I'm just gonna become like an NBA, like the NBA LeBron stands where they're like, wherever this Joe Burrow plays, I'm playing, or I'm a fan.
So it's too late to switch. And I'm like, but my thing is, I'm very not optimistic about him a lot of the times, and that's come with the territory. Like, we have bad luck. Like, we take a guy, he's having a good career or whatever, injury. Like, we take a guy and like, he doesn't develop, or like there's flaws that these guys have that they didn't have in college, or like, like you're like, nobody knew that Henry Ruggs wasn't going to be fast this year. Like, he's the fastest player in the draft. He runs slow. on the field.
No, and
Like,
and you know where that came apparent more so than anything was that last fucking game of the season against Denver. I didn't get a chance to talk about this. I haven't done a pod since that Miami game. But remember when he got that little reverse of that end around and a fucking linebacker, the linebacker caught up to him. Like he didn't get the corner on the linebacker.
It reminded me, dude, remember Darren McFadden was supposed to be like this, like the fastest running back, like to come out in a long time. Yeah. And I remember McFadden broke one, right? We've been waiting for him to break, and he got caught from behind by like a linebacker. And me and my dad looked at each other and we're like, how did Darren McFadden just get caught by a linebacker?
Game speed is different.
Yeah. And so I don't think Ruggs is a bust. And don't get me wrong. Like I've been like critiqued for saying like, you know, the Raiders made the wrong pick. And like, I wanted one of the three receivers, and Ruggs was probably my third choice. However, I think that, like I said today, I don't think that like it's unfixable stuff. I watched a lot of tape on him this week. And one of the things is like, it's like, he's thinking too much. Like, I know that sounds weird, but he's running his route slow because he's worried about like messing up his route.
That's a Gruden offense.
Then you're not fast. You're not, your number one trait is being minimized. So what they need to do is get the ball in his hands more on like quick little, like easy routes, and to get his confidence up as the game goes. Cause he is fast. Like he burnt corners 3-4 times for touchdowns. But he has the ability to do it. But when he gets 2 targets a game, it's like, you know, get the ball in his hands. You know what I mean? I don't know. We've talked about it before. I just don't think Gruden utilizes his assets.
And I don't think rookies are meant to start in his offense either. So like I don't.
He doesn't like rookies.
No, not on offense. I think on defense he's fine with it. Defense is like, look, it's Gus Bradley now, so I do want to talk about that too. Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator now. I think he's going to let Gus make the call if a rookie can start on defense, because I don't think Gruden. I think Gruden does. The one thing I like about Gruden is I think he hands the defense and over to the defensive coordinator and doesn't try to fucking oversee that. So when you'll see, which sucked with Paul Guenther, right? Because Paul Guenther was bad. But I think if Gus Bradley's good, which you and I have talked, we were okay with the hire. Like I wasn't like,
honestly, dude, I was not that happy about it. Some of the coaching hires, like for like around the league, have made me like be thankful for John Gruden. It's been a weird cycle this year. Like every hire, I'm like, that's bad.
But those, you have to think about it. The thing that sucks about Gruden is the 10-year contract. That's the thing. Like,
well, yeah, because he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, there's no hot seat. There will not be.
That's what I'm saying about that's what I'm saying about the hierarchy of things. Like Gruden runs that franchise.
Yeah,
it's Gruden, Davis. Like Davis isn't making any decisions.
He doesn't want to. He said, "I get 10 years off." That's what he said when he signed Gruden. Exactly. I get 10 years off, and I get to hang out with my best friend at PF Chang's. That's what happened.
Yeah, So what I'm saying though is like these guys, like these coaches getting hired. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know, like, you know, like
David
obviously,
Cullen, like, David,
like,
or what's his
but
name?
See, like that one, like, you know, I was telling Dustin, I'm like, it's tough because like you always judge these signing or these coaches before they even, you know. But I mean, he's been in the league for 25 years. Who knows? He might be the best damn head coach. Who knows? You know, you don't know. Yeah. But he's not calling plays. You know, that's another thing. Is like I know some coaches are very successful at like calling plays and calling the game, and I just don't think Gruden can do both. We've talked about it before. Like he makes too many crucial mistakes with timeouts, challenges.
Yeah.
And he gets too emotional. Like he's like, I'm going to challenge this just because I'm pissed off.
Him and Jeff Fisher throw the flag. They don't listen to the guy up there. They just fucking, here you go. Challenge it.
Well, I mean, hot take. I mean, Gruden is this modern day Jeff Fisher.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree. So, that's kind of,
they have a lot in common, including they can't win. So I don't know. We're getting too much off track here.
No, that's fine. So look, I haven't done an episode in a while, so we got a couple things. So Gus Bradley's in. I do think that Guenther was bottom of the barrel. I think you saw guys. Look, you heard the Will Compton thing, right? The Will Compton thing where he's like, dude, I've been in the league for fucking 7 years and I don't know why we have 30 third down calls weekly that are different. So it's tough to just be yourself. And like you said with Henry Ruggs, it's tough to just be fast. All right. You see Corey Littleton, it's tough for him to be fast. Corey Littleton's lightning fast. Like he's lightning fast. That's his game, is being very fast.
And they all played slow.
They all played slow because they're thinking, right? They're all thinking. So I think one thing, and I talked to BD Williams about this. I said, hey, what do you think? He said, look, I'm not a huge fan of cover 3, right? Cover 3's kind of been figured out by a lot of the league, but teams still keep hiring cover 3 guys, by the way. And so the rest of the league hasn't figured out that that's the thing. But you see with Gus Bradley, like he made Desmond King, right? You drafted Desmond King. Now, Desmond King, I liked him as a prospect, but I didn't know he would ever be as good as he was with the Chargers like that, you know? And when Gus Bradley got there, you started seeing Desmond King get better. And I'm hoping for guys like Amik Robertson, guys like Littleton, guys like that he's just going to let them be them. And I think there's more talent than the 30th.
Even Abram.
Yeah, if you let Abram even Abram, the way he played with Rod Marinelli, where Rod Marinelli just said, look, you're just go make plays, man. I'm not going to fucking give you an assignment. Go make plays.
Go hit people.
Yes.
Don't put Jonathan Abram on the back half of cover and Travis Kelce with the game on the line.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
You go and sign the best coverage line. I'm not saying like put a linebacker on Travis Kelce and you're fine. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But you sign the best coverage linebacker available in Corey Littleton.
Right.
And you have him playing run defense 90% of the time. Yeah. He's playing like I never saw him cover, like he covered the tight end a couple times and he made plays.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying like he's gonna cover Kelce because nobody can. No. But like, you know, like you paid him to go cover Hunter Henry. And you paid him to go cover, you know, whoever. And it's like they're just not playing, like we've talked about it before, they're not playing to their strengths.
Right.
So like to add on to what you're saying is I think like the cover 3 is a lot simpler. And I think I'm not saying like you want to be like simple all the time, but like, and he'll mix some stuff in, but I think
he
like
plays a little more man too, which helps with Mullen and Arnett. I think just a little more press.
Yep. And like, and Littleton is a, you know, he's good at man-to-man coverage too. And so like you have all these guys that it's like you have chess pieces that you're playing checkers with is how I always felt like Gunther was doing. So, or he's trying to turn checker pieces into a chess piece, you know, or whatever. And it's like, you really have to just focus on what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders defense, there's not much they're good at. Like you can't think of anything where you're like, this is the strength, right? But going into the season, what would you have considered the strength? Man-to-man defense?
Yeah, it would have just been the revamped linebacker core, honestly. Like that would have like
for me, it was like I was excited to see the young secondary. I was like, you know, like they actually have some talent there.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know safety was going to be that bad though. Fuck.
Mullen played okay. Mullen played okay. I think he took his lumps. But you know, they don't I don't want to say they don't have any pieces, but they lack a lot of talent on that side of the ball. And that's on Gruden, that's on Mayock. It's on everybody before them because they just haven't built
first-round picks.
5 first-round picks. But then, like, you got to think about all, like, everyone's like, you know, like, we haven't addressed defensive tackle, right? Well, no, they took, you know, PJ Hall. They took Eddie Vanderdoes. Like, they've tried to address these positions. It's not like they've ignored these positions.
Right.
So, like, you get all these, like, misses on the draft. They add up, dude. Like, you need a safety. So, you know, in the 3rd round, they take 2 wide receivers and Tanner Muse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take Tanner fucking Muse.
And you have on the team.
Burgess on the block. Burgess was there.
Wasn't Julian Blackman there, or did he go earlier?
That's what I was thinking.
That was the one that hurt the most.
Yeah. And then like I'm like, you know, he didn't play that great or anything, but I was like big Zach Moss guy, and I'm like, okay, so you take Glenn Bowden to move him to running back, and just take Zach Moss.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just the little things. It's like it all adds up, man. Like you miss on that, right? So now you're going into this season, you still need a backup running back.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't address that position. You went and, you know, you got lucky and signed Devontae Booker, who played okay. I said after a couple big games, I said he's not that good, but you know, then throughout the year, you know, like Gruden conveniently just started leaving him out. No snaps.
Yeah.
They need somebody that like can take 20, 25 carries, like we talked about before. When Jacobs gets banged up, where you're not, you know, your run game's not gone. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, man. This roster has a lot of issues, and I think like, you know, we'll get more into that as the offseason goes on. But I mean, I think like the offensive line's a major issue, and people don't want to say it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to keep. Well, okay, let's talk about the offensive line because I think they're going to keep Trent Brown.
So do I.
Yeah,
I've said
I think you and I said that you don't.
That's what I take for 3 months.
Do not create another hole. Yeah.
Well, you have Miller locked in.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll probably extend him this offseason, I think.
I think he's going to get a second deal. Yes.
Then you have Gabe Jackson, who might be out.
He should be out.
He should be. not good. And Denzel Good is better, actually.
No, and you can replace Gabe Jackson's production for even a third of his money, probably.
Yeah, or a third-round pick.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, exactly. Or just some like it'd be fine to have like a veteran guard off the scrap heap. Honestly,
yeah,
like it's about the same.
exactly. I agree. And so then you have Hudson, who's getting older, but he's still good.
In the pass game, yes.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before too. Mm-hmm. But he's not going anywhere this year.
No,
he's going to be there. So you got Hudson, Miller, and those are your two that are there.
Yeah.
So like Incognito, like if he's healthy, which I don't think he is.
I think he's done.
But if he is healthy and he says, I want to come back, let him come back.
Yeah, please. But I think
the run game went completely downhill after he got hurt.
Oh yeah.
So then, right now, best case scenario, you have 4 of your 5 from last year, 3 out of 5 if you get rid of Jackson. Like, so Trent Brown, you can't do that. Unless you have a solution, which in my opinion, going and cutting him and going and drafting like Slater at 17.
Yeah.
Not that bad of an idea, but also like, I still don't think you should take a right tackle in the first round. Like it's an important position. And like, it's just something that I think there's so many other holes in the team. I don't want to create a new one. And
sure.
There's my first round pick. I also don't want to have a first round pick this year. Trade it for a player. I'm so sick of it.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I'm so sick of it, dude.
Well, here's what
I don't want to sit here. I don't want to sit here and mock players to the Raiders. Like we could do that. And I like the draft and I've been doing research and I'm absolutely standing a few players, but I don't like to do that because I know we're not going to get them.
Yeah. Well, and let's get so here's what I want to do. What I want to do is a couple things, and I just want to toss this out there because people thought I was crazy for saying this. But one, with your first round pick or second round pick, it doesn't have to be a first. Find a difference maker on the defensive line. One of those things. Do it on the defensive line. Find your DeForest Buckner. It doesn't have to be that great, honestly. DeForest Buckner outplayed the first round pick that they gave for him, so that's not even a big deal. Also, with your mid-round
I thought that was
pick,
such a good trade for both teams.
Fantastic. Yeah, Niners didn't have to pay him, and the Niners knew they had fucking a bunch of talent around him. Drafted Kinlaw, which is an incredible replacement for him, in my opinion. And then, so then you go with in your mid-round picks. Let's go get Odell.
So what's funny about all that is, so great. Okay, first off, there's going to be a few guys I can think of that are available for you can maybe get. They're talking about like Grady Jarrett.
Sure.
Not Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta, the Raiders have. Didn't we have a Grady Jackson?
Jackson it was a classic. Yeah, Grady Jackson.
Yeah. Sure. So Grady Jarrett from Falcons, like that could be that guy, like second round pick.
I'm down.
Whatever. Then they were talking about like I saw a rumor that like the Bears are going to try to shed a couple of those linemen.
I heard Akeem Hicks would be one of them, which I would take late with not a first because his injuries. I would take him second or third, honestly, because you have to realize when you trade for a first round pick for somebody, a lot of times they got to be on a rookie deal or they got to be cheap, right? So you got to give them the first round pick. Usually when the guy's already got paid, they're trying to offload him. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to offload him. So like,
it's funny you said that because it's similar to like, we saw it happen a lot at the end. Like whenever the trade deadline happens, they're like, this guy's going to get traded for like a second. And then they always get traded for like a fifth. And people
Calais
are like,
Campbell for a fifth round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like
why
that.
Why did we do that?
He's a monster. So, you see things like that. So what I want to do, like even Grady Jarrett, I'm saying if you find that one guy who's just I don't even care if you want to get Khalil Mack back. Let's go. I don't give a shit. The bygones be bygones. Get a difference maker with your first round pick and then play around. A lot of people are like, hey, the offense doesn't need any more help. A lot of that is Carr related because they think, Carr's.
If we got Khalil Mack and I can dust my Khalil Mack jersey off, I will never say a bad word about Gruden.
No, ever. Let's go. I'm fine with it. Bygones be bygones. I'm not going to put that. I don't think they will, but the Bears are going to look to offload guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if they blew it all up. Wouldn't be surprised.
The Odell thing, I saw a couple people. So that one guy there's one guy on Twitter.
He's verified though. He's verified.
He keeps throwing out rumors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he throws out about 10 a day.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, there was a couple Raider beat guys that did the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And they don't have a clue. Like they throw 10 rumors out there. And if they hit on one, it's like, told you, And so this, number one, I don't know if Odell's
Evan Massey is the guy's name. Evan Massey is the guy's name. He's He's the Fox Sports and a Bleacher Report guy. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. And then
he's
like,
on
like
there.
see that last year it was that Dan Sileo, and everybody was like, "Oh, Sileo said," and then he didn't get one thing right the whole offseason. So it's like I have to hear him be right once, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe twice.
No, but it makes sense. It makes sense that a team like that would offload Beckham. It would. It does make sense.
And I don't know if his contract's not super tradable. He has a lot of dead money in it.
Yeah.
And one thing about him, he's coming off that injury. So I mean, obviously, I'm not like I say it all the time. If I good players, I'm not gonna say no. Like, I don't care what position. I want a good player. I just like, and this is you're gonna disagree with me on this for sure.
Let's go.
We always do, but I don't really see the point in going and getting Carr more weapons because it's just it never. I don't know. It's hard to like get excited. Like, here's another number one wide receiver for Carr to ignore.
Okay,
and check down to Jacobs.
Let me make
check down to Darren Waller.
Let me get my Jimmy McGill Better Call Saul case for you right here. Okay, so Odell Beckham, right? What is Odell Beckham to this offense? He's a supercharged Nelson Aguilar, right? Can we all agree with that? Supercharged, just fucking like
he's better than he's better than Aguilar.
Nitrous oxide, Fast and the Furious version of Nelson Aguilar. So you get that, right? It's a ball control offense. I don't even think Odell Beckham is a volume receiver. I never thought he was. I always thought he was a big play guy, right? And that's perfect for a ball control offense, right? Now, here's the other thing. Look, people say I'm like waffling on Carr because I was really critical of him last offseason. I actually thought he played pretty well this year. I thought if you look at the numbers,
and I do too.
I thought he played well. So here's the thing. One, I'm not banking on having a good defense ever. Two, I'm not banking on them getting rid of Derek Carr. I don't think they will, honestly.
Not this year. Not this year.
We'll see what happens if Washington makes a call. I'm just saying. But
I don't think they're getting rid of Derek Carr this year or next year.
Correct. So I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm done.
But I do think that, like, people like to say like the last 4 years that they get rid of Carr or whatever. I think that like he's on the hot seat. Like, I think like
sure.
Like if they bring Mariota back, which I don't think they are, but if they do,
hope not. Yeah.
I think that the leash gets a lot shorter for Derek.
Yeah, well, no. So there's fall guys, right? Mayock's a fall guy for Gruden, and then Carr's right after him. I think Mayock is on the hot seat this year, even though he doesn't have even though we doubt what he does. I think he's on the hot seat this year. He'll be the guy. Hey, Gruden's fine. We got rid of Mayock, bringing somebody else in. That didn't work out. So my whole thing was, okay, with the offense, look, we just said it with Corey Littleton, Travis Kelce. It's never going to work. You're never going to be able to cover the Chiefs offense one-on-one. It's just not going to happen. So let's continue. We've already found a way to score on them this year, right? The Raiders have had the two best games anybody's played against the Chiefs this year so far, other than the playoffs. So in the regular season, I just want more explosiveness on the play. And look, man, people can say what they will about Carr. I don't even understand why Raider fans wanted Stafford. That doesn't even make sense to me. It's not enough of an upgrade to give up. I don't think it's any upgrade. I don't think he's better than Derek Carr. I think he's. I don't. It's hard. I don't think. How do you justify it with the win-loss record? It's the same situation. It's a pretty good quarterback on a terrible franchise that has a bad win-loss record. You can't make a case for Stafford. I think he has a better arm, and that's about it. I think but arm strength is arm strength Carr's problem? No, not at all. Yeah. I'm just saying I don't think that Stafford's better than Carr, and I don't think Carr's better than Stafford. And I think it's hard to make an argument either way. To start over Carr, with a new system and new guy. Carr has had better teams than Stafford has had, besides his early days with Calvin Johnson. You sure? Dude, the Raiders 2016 team is better than any team Stafford has had in the last 4 years. Well, we're just talking about offense, right? So yeah, offensively, their line has been in shambles. They finally got some guys there, and then. But I thought throwing receiving targets are pretty comparable. Yeah, I mean he's got Galladay and Jones and Hawkinson, and I mean he's got weapons. But I think it's hard to. The Lions and Raiders both had about the shittiest defenses. That's why it's the same thing. You're swapping. It's literally the same for argument. Shit, is what I'm saying. If you're in that case, I do think Stafford is an upgrade over Goff. Oh yeah. And that the Rams, I thought, made a good, they made a win now move. It's a lot of picks, but it's a lot because they haven't had a first. They're not going to have a first round pick for 6 years. Their last one was Jared Goff. Yeah, and then but now they don't have one for 3 more years. Yeah, so they don't have one this year already for Ramsey. Then they have their 2 after that. So I don't know. I heard the Lions got the 8th. The Panthers offered the 8th pick, right? That's insane that they. Here's what the Lions are going to do. What the Lions are going to do is I don't think they have any interest in the quarterbacks this year. Not that I'm saying they don't like any of them. I'm just saying they're thinking, okay, look, if Goff works, hey, maybe we strike gold with Jared Goff. And because Dan Campbell, a lot of people are hating on Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell's literally there to be a cheerleader, and I think he's actually assembling a decent staff behind him. And I think maybe there's going to be
Dan Campbell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to be the guy calling the fucking plays. So maybe it works with Jared Goff, and if it doesn't, you have maybe in a year or two you could get rid of him, and then you have all these. You have
the capital every year to get the guy you want.
That's what I mean. And they never really did that. The Lions never tried that.
That's what I was thinking. If they liked a guy this year, they would have taken that 8th pick and packaged 8 and 7 and went up and got a guy.
Yeah, to get Fields or something. But maybe they don't like that. Maybe they want Spencer Rattler next year or Jared Goff works, and I'm just saying, nonetheless, it's not a Rams podcast. So that's fine. But with Carr, right? You have Carr and Gruden are going to be married at the hip for a while. I think it's going to happen. Carr might even get another deal. I'm just be prepared, Raider fans. That's all I'm saying. I think John Gruden loves him.
We talked about it, and I said I'd be on board with it. If you can extend Carr for a couple years right now, and save money for this year and get a better team,
but a better team to me does involve having, what if you had an offense of Odell Beckham, Henry Ruggs, which we assume is not a bust. I agree with you. Even though I have Darren Waller, Foster Moreau. Your run game sucks, but I think it's salvageable. And I mean, who else am I missing? I thought Brian Edwards played fantastic against Denver. So I mean, maybe that becomes something you.
The thing with like Brian Edwards and like the whole rookie class and like this sounds like an excuse. I sound like John
Hunter
Gruden.
Renfrow. Sorry, Hunter Renfrow. Yeah,
I sound like John. I'm going to sound like John Gruden here for a second. But see, COVID affected every team, so it's not an excuse for me.
No,
however,
not at all.
For the Raiders, a team that is full of first and second year guys. Like they have the youngest like core players. Like they have old guys that bring their average age down, like Witten. Like they signed Jason Witten, their average age went down 2 years.
Guys coaching a high school team now. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Witten, Hudson, those guys bring that, but the Raiders are young.
Very young. Like, that's why I want veterans.
Throughout the team, they're one of the youngest teams in football. So COVID and not having like the training camp and all that, like it affected them a little more than it affected like a team like Kansas City.
True.
Because they're all young players. They had the most new players on their team. They had more new faces on their team than any team in the NFL. Like including draft picks and free agents. So like it's not an excuse, but not having a normal offseason with that many new faces. Yeah. Is rough. And then
they thought Tyrell and Aguilar were going to start.
Yeah, and then having all them COVID problems throughout the season where like these guys aren't practicing, your whole offense. Like the Raiders did have some issues that were like out of their control. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think that like this team all of a sudden lacks talent.
Not on the offensive side of the ball. Not at all. Not on the offensive side. It was a top 10. It was a top 10 offense, even with all this.
Yeah, and they could have been, and there was a lot of ways they could have been better.
They didn't run the ball. They were one-dimensional. They didn't run the ball.
Yeah,
and the top 10 offense.
The red zone problems all come back to that too. Like it's not like if you don't have play action because you're running the ball bad. Carr with all his issues that everybody he has a lot of issues that like are glaring, whatever. But one of his best parts of his game has always been play action
and accuracy. He's an accurate quarterback.
And the Raiders are like one of the they run play action least out of they're like the 7th least in football. Yeah. So it's like, and Carr when they do run play action, he's like his passer rating's like number 1.
Musgrave loved play action when
and it worked.
Yeah,
and it works to the deep ball. And what happened throughout the year was the running game was worse, and the offensive line started to not play very good. Mm-hmm. So play action didn't really work because there was not enough protection.
And
that's the only knock. The only knock I have on Carr is he is mobile enough, and he just doesn't use it.
He's a weird runner too. Like it's not a
natural motion.
No, it's not.
He looks like a gazelle hopping.
Or like high knees when you do high knees when you're warming up in baseball practice. Like it's or I mean, then he's gonna do some butt kickers after it. Like it's really weird. It's a weird thing. But I'm just saying, would you if I said, all right, let's just take the AB trade, right? Nobody wants to talk about fucking Antonio Brown, right? But 3rd and a 5th round pick, I'd do it for Odell tomorrow.
Yeah, because I always said whether the AB trade worked out or not, it was a good trade.
Yeah, no, you try it every time.
You took a risk on a guy.
Yeah.
You didn't give up anything. Like, you gave up a 3rd and 5th, and you've seen how the Raiders' 3rd and 5th round picks have worked out.
Yeah.
So if you take a risk on a guy, that's the good. Those are the guys you take a risk on. Odell, okay, he's hurt. You know, maybe he'll never get back to his old game. You know, maybe his contract's kind of high. Well, you give up a 3rd and a 5th, and he comes in and he's balls out. You outplayed that trade.
Yeah, if he does what
he comes in and he never plays a snap for the Raiders, which is extreme, and that doesn't happen in the NFL. But like Antonio Brown, where he never played a snap.
And to be fair, Odell in Vegas is a gamble, literally, no pun intended. But yeah, like. Yeah.
Well, there's no boats around.
Yeah, you can find someone to shit on him too, so it's fine. Like, tell me, like I can give you a few.
Like, honestly, we could collect like probably 30 or 40 business cards for him and have like ready. Dude, here comes the Cleveland Steamers. Like,
we don't kink shame in Vegas. That's one thing about us. No. But the crazy thing,
as long as you catch touchdowns,
yes, you can catch whatever else comes with that.
Shit on by that Jedi Joy chick.
Yeah,
for all
exactly. I don't care. Go out and catch the ball. Everyone's roasting for. I'm like, yeah, okay, bring him over here if you're that mad. Like, I'll take that all day. I'd rather have that than like.
Dude, if he wins us a Super Bowl, I'll shit on his chest.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here. I mean, honestly, I might too. I might join you. Yeah, but you could get this offense needs to be explosive more. I don't want to leave the offensive alone. Everyone's like, oh. I'm down to use whatever draft picks we have on defense because I want to keep throwing picks at it. But if there's an offensive player available that is a difference maker, which he absolutely is, dude, absolutely is. He's a game changer. You do it.
I've seen some rumors out there on like players that are going to be available, and there's some offensive ones that I'm like, I'll take that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like number one, I was thinking about the draft. I'm like, dude, if Kyle Pitts, like he's not, I think he's going top 10. But if he fell to 17. I'm fucking taking him.
Jack Nicholson. This is my Jack Nicholson nodding at you for that. Yes.
I'm putting a 2 tight end set of Kyle Pitts and Darren Waller.
I'm putting 3 tight ends on the field. Let's go.
Every play. And then your running game's better because you have,
and not even that, dude. You have Waller. Waller can play the X, dude. You can flex him out to the X, and then you have Kyle Pitts in line or Waller in line.
Line them both
up,
dude. Yeah, dude, I'm on board with that. If that happened,
it's a non-murdering Hernandez and Gronk. It's awesome.
If he came to 17,
yeah, you take.
There's no way. There's no way.
I don't care who else is there. You take him.
I don't think Gruden's passing.
No, what? No way. And I'd be mad if he did.
I mean, I made the debate earlier about Jamar Chase. I'm like, if he fell to 17, you take him.
Same thing. Those guys should be going top. Guys should be
Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase,
top 12 picks, all of them.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Devontae Smith, but that's a whole other episode. So.
I like him, but yeah, no, I
like
agree
him, but it's like
he's not a second overall. If the Jets take him second overall, I think that's stupid. Yeah, I agree with you.
They should take Chase second overall.
Yeah, or just like try to get some more. I don't know, just something like that. It makes sense. But before we go, give me some draft guys. Give me your draft crushes right now because there's a few defensive tackles I like. Like I like the Washington defensive tackle. I can't pronounce his last name. He's fantastic.
So do I.
USC's got a guy I watched in the Senior Bowl that was eating. I like him too. He's a Samoan guy, really cool. I
was in on Richie Grant, the safety, but like well before. Like,
he was a Thorpe finalist. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I liked him like 3 months ago. I was watching. I was like, oh, he's good. So I like him. Not first round, but like if they took him in the first round, I wouldn't be upset at pick number 17.
Take good players.
He's good. So I like him. I like the Wake Forest defensive tackle, defensive end guy, Bashmore.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Yeah. And then the receiver class and the this sucks that we took a receiver in a corner last year because the receiving class and the corner class this year are stacked.
I think it's going to be like that every year too.
And
colleges turn out wide receivers.
Like I'm obviously a big fan of like Jamar Chase and those guys, but I like Tony from
Kadarius. Yeah, beast.
Yeah, he's a beast, and I was talking about him 2 weeks ago before he blew up, and now people have him going like 20. And then like corners are stacked, and I think like again, like if they took Patrick Surtain at 17,
no complaints.
No complaints because I think he's a stud.
You can never have too many corners. It's like fucking relief pitchers in baseball now. Like you cannot.
I do think there's some guys in the draft that are getting like their stock is just skyrocketing right now. Mm-hmm. The defensive end from Michigan, Kwity Paye, he's been a popular pick for the Raiders.
Do you like him?
Draft. Not
I
at
like
17.
I like him. I think he's an athletic freak, dude. And people
Dude,
don't think he's that.
I don't know, man. I don't see an edge guy or a defensive tackle that like I would be thrilled with at 17 yet. I haven't watched everybody, but I'm like, like he'd be the closest thing that I would be like, okay. And the Miami guy, Gregory Rizzo.
What about that other guy that's got all the concussions? Jamal, what's his name from Miami? That guy's a fucking Jalen Phillips.
Oh,
that's his name.
Jalen. Yeah.
God damn, dude.
I think Kuiper had him going to us, right?
Yeah, he's not getting past anybody at 17. But what if his medical checks aren't good and he's there in the second round, dude? That's like another guy where it's like I take that every time and I don't care if he never plays it down for me. He's that. I think he's that good.
In the second or third. The Raiders have to take risks like that a little more often.
Yes.
And like they work sometimes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the Bengals took Burfict and got 10 years out of him.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's just tough to like pinpoint like 2 or 3 guys. I do like the Darisaw, the tackle from Virginia Tech, the offensive tackle.
Yes. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Like if they took him at 17, I would not be upset.
Just take good players.
So I have like about a list of like 10 guys every year. I'm like, take one of these 10 guys.
I'll put it this way. I made a case for Carr this whole entire podcast. I made a case for Carr the whole type of year. If one of those good ass quarterbacks is there at 17, take him.
Yeah. I don't like Fields.
Ooh, you don't?
I can't explain really why.
I like Fields.
I don't think Phillips is in the same class as Lawrence and Wilson.
You like Zach? I'm sorry, you said Fields is not in the same.
More Lawrence and Wilson. I got Lawrence, Wilson, okay. Fields. I don't think Trey Lance is worth going top 20 yet. Like I've watched quite a bit on him, but there's not that much available because he's D2, didn't have a year this year. My problem with Fields is I don't know, dude. It's hard to explain. He just doesn't excite me much. Like it's like like Wilson has like all the intangibles that I want, and it's funny because I think like you can't go wrong with any of the 3. Like it's just like the receivers last year. It's like dude, if you get one of those 3 and you get like you're gonna get the guy, and then there's just a huge drop off. Like they're talking like Jamie Newman sneaking into the first round, and I don't understand why Mac Jones is not getting more hype. I'm
a Mac Jones fan, and I think with Gruden, I think that. I'm just saying if Mac Jones is there at 17, I think Gruden's going to love him. And now I think he loves Derek Carr. So I don't know if he's going to want to use a first round pick on that, but I also think John Gruden's a psycho. So I also think like
he's a psycho.
Yeah. Dude, like I also think like he's got that Al Davis gene where Sebastian Janikowski was a first round pick where you're like anything could happen.
No, he'll tell Derek Carr today.
Yeah.
You're good, dude. You're the starting.
No, and he's like, I'm keeping you for 2 years. Yeah, I'm keeping you for 2 years, and you and Mac Jones are gonna. He bought the house next to you. Now we all 3 of us live together. Like,
yeah, no, but he'll tell like Derek Carr, you're safe, and then like go trade up and take Zach Wilson.
Yeah, but still be safe. Like he won't start in year 1. Like that. Like he won't start him. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't like any of the like. What's weird is like I was trying to explain to people when this happened and. Raider fans, they don't want to hear negative stuff. So like the 2019 draft looked pretty good on paper. Like, right. And you're like, you're getting a lot of snaps out of these guys. And I was just like, dude, you took 3 positions that don't mean like, there's no value. You took a box safety who's not even good at that. You took Cleveland Farrell, who's like an edge setting, run defending defensive end. Correct. And Farrell is good. I think he's going to have a nice year 3. I think he's going to have a nice year 3. NFL player. This is not me knocking Cleveland Farrell, but the position like Josh Morrow played that position.
Yeah.
Just as good as Farrell in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Now
it's not a 4th overall value for that.
Yeah. And then you take a running back in the 1st. So like you saw James Robinson undrafted, great. Right. Jacobs is one of my favorite players on the team.
Yeah.
Now, if they didn't take him in the 1st, he probably wouldn't have been there for them in the 2nd. Now, So you have to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a bad pick. Like, you got a good player, like you said. Mm-hmm. But it's hard because, like, this year I'm looking at the running backs, and I'm like, there's some good running backs. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't take any of them in the 1st round.
No, but second round Michael Carter, I'll sign up for that all day.
Yeah, and, like, they're talking, like, Najee Harris going, like, in the 2nd,
Nope.
But it's like, there's all these guys that like are good. And so that just makes me like kind of like look at the Raiders drafts and they just don't get the value. Like the best player in that draft they got was Mullen, and they got kind of lucky.
Yeah, and I would say I think Hunter Renfro's really fucking good. Like I think
Renfro's.
and I think Foster Moreau is really good. Like I think both those
feel
guys
like
are.
Renfro's been on this team forever. That's why I'm
Yeah,
like. But
yeah,
I think they have a chance to like take the leap this year. They just have to. They're going to be a little more crafty with their decisions and like
yeah,
realize like, if you get a proven player, you already know you're getting that production. Like you don't take a risk on a guy in the draft. Get a proven player, trade your pick if you need to, and draft talent. Quit worrying about what they do. Is they pigeonhole themselves into like everybody knew they were taking a receiver at 12 last year.
Yeah,
they pigeonholed themselves into that.
And one guy too. Yeah,
they had to.
Yeah, it was.
And then 19 came around. And you're like, they're 100% taking a corner.
Yeah, I thought
everybody
so too.
knew they didn't take the corner that anybody wanted, but they took a corner. Then it comes to the third round, right? And they go 2 wide receivers.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I don't mind throwing a bunch of picks at wide receiver because you need a lot of them. But the problem is, do the Raiders ever go fucking 5 wide?
No.
That's what I mean. It's like I'm down if you go 5 wide, like with Waller being one of them and stuff like that. So maybe 4 guys on there. I'm down. Like, let's go. But they don't do that. So,
nope.
So yeah, I'm with you. And get a difference maker on defense. It doesn't matter if it's in the draft. Sure, if you strike gold, I just don't trust them to do that. Or trade your first round pick or second round pick for a difference maker on defense. Because I think if you could just get that one difference maker, that allows you to creep back to average, right? That's PFF's motto, creep back to average. Because if this defense, even Mike Mayock said that with his interview with Tashawn Reed, he said, like, I thought we were going to play average defense this year. And we didn't. And they didn't. I mean, it's still the number one flaw on this team. I don't care what anyone says. It's not Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I don't know if he's not a perfect quarterback, but he's not the number one flaw on this team.
No, he's like the 4th flaw.
Sure, and if that, but nonetheless,
my thing is I don't think Derek Carr lost the Raiders any games this year.
No. Well, okay. Yeah. I'll give you I would say Atlanta.
The Raiders also just the whole entire team played flat.
Right. So. But I would say there was so much damage control, right? Like the thing, my number one critique about Derek Carr, and maybe there's 2. He doesn't improvise. He's not very good at improvising. And he's not, and after his interceptions, because honestly, I remember he threw that interception at KC and then just got red hot. So I think he bounces back fine after interceptions. It's the damn fumbles. When he gets hit and fumbles once, it's over. That's it. Turtle shell the rest of the game.
His fumbles are the thing that bothers me the most because it's always like he doesn't even get hit that hard.
No. And it's when he's trying to create. It's when he's trying to create and step up, and then he has the ball low, and it's like Daniel Jones.
There were so many plays this year too where like Carr like held the ball just like a second too long, and like they show the all 22, and like if he would just have had one more second of patience or whatever, instead of like throwing it to the check down, it would have been 6.
Yeah,
like there were so many plays. So that's my next thing is I just want him to be able to like the check down's there. And like I'm not like the one who thinks like captain check down or anything like that.
I like checking down. I'm actually a fan.
I do too because the Raiders get like 6 yards every time.
Yeah,
but
it's like a run play. I
think that Carr like sometimes misses big opportunities, and like there's a lot more wins available if people like they want to blame the defense, and rightfully so. The defense sucks.
It does.
They're plain and simple. They're bad, but the Raiders very rarely have a 2-score lead. Like even when the offense has a chance,
well, wouldn't you say that's defense though? Like for not having a 2.
Not all of it though. Yeah. Not all of it, because there was plenty of times like the Denver game, for example, and like there's other games where like the Raiders are up like 7-0, they get the ball back, and like 3 and out. You know what I mean? And I can't think of an exact example off the top of my head, but anytime they had I saw a stat. It was like the Raiders had like the least touchdowns with the lead.
I could see that. But do you not think that's Gruden, man? Like, do you not think that's Gruden?
But part of it's Gruden. Gruden gets conservative. Like, he feels like he's up 100 when he's up 3.
Did you hear what
Keyshawn
Johnson?
That's why I was pissed after the Dolphins game, bro. I'm like, you're playing to go up 2.
Did you hear what Keyshawn Johnson said? He was on one of the playoff games. It was one of the ESPN playoff games. He was doing the desk, and he said him and Booger McFarland were laughing at each other, and they said, they were laughing. They said Gruden, because he had that Tampa defense, he would say, all right, guys, let's go get 3. Let's go out there and go get 3. What head coach says that? Let's go get 3, an offensive-minded head coach. So I'm like, I do think a lot of that is like, hey, we have the lead. Let's not fuck it up, even though you don't have the defense to back that up. I mean, we could debate it all day. I understand. But I mean, I'm not even saying you're wrong. I just think there's so many elements
to it. The whole gist of all of it is that you have a coach that's like conservative, and you have a quarterback that's conservative.
Yeah.
And one of them needs to step up and be aggressive.
Agreed.
And check the other person. And like Gannon did.
Yeah, you need to tell Gruden to fuck off and you
take
know,
a shot downfield every fucking once in a while. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
and like you know, with when you see the Chiefs, right? They're up 7, then Hill up 59-yard touchdown to Hill.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I want. The dagger.
In the
second quarter.
I agreed.
Just do it.
You know, and you can fix both.
Run pass shit. Not all of it's Carr.
I know.
Like if we run one more HB dive, we're running like Madden plays, HB dive.
Yeah, a little bit
every time on first down.
Maybe even an HB cutback if you're lucky.
Jacobs runs in the back of Hudson.
Yeah,
you know.
That's I agree. Shit, man. I don't know. We'll do it again sometime too. I know you're. We wedged this into your work schedule, so I appreciate that. But we'll do it again.
We have a lot. I mean, you could go on with the Raiders all day.
And we will. We'll go a couple weeks from now.
They have like I just think it's a crucial offseason, and like we'll talk about like you know the free agents. I mean, before we leave, there are some free agents out there that like.
Yeah, let me know.
They're like absolutely like the Raiders need to take a look at.
Marcus
May would be great. Dude, like there's guys like that. Like pieces that you can cut in a Zeeb already and give up on him. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
And go get like Romeo Okwara from the Lions. He had 11 sacks last year. You know what I mean? Like on a bad team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of free agents out there that.
And you need pass rush. Gus Bradley needs elite pass rush. He does not.
Go get me Trey Hendrickson, bro.
You like him?
Dude, I want him. That's my number one guy. Like.
Okay.
He's good, man.
That contract year bothers me. It's the contract year that he balled out in is where it bothers me.
Well, he didn't get the snaps that he should have early because they had Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport on the other side.
Right.
So he beat he's actually, you know, he started to get more snaps and he's you know, like the one thing about him though is like it's the same as like our like Crosby where he doesn't have the insane talent. It's like he's like a rusher. Like he has to like he's got a high motor. And, you know what I mean? So I want like a pure pass rusher.
That's what I mean. I want that beat.
So
win
I'm with you on that, but I think like I would sign him to be like, you know, get rid of Nazeem. Like that guy would be like your third guy.
Yeah.
So
no, straight up.
I mean, he would start. In my opinion, he's a much better player than. I'm not going to get into it, but a much better player than Crosby. So
1,000%.
But they're not going to like bench Crosby. You know what I mean? And they should.
I would hope they could save him at least for third down packages or something like the NASCAR package. I don't want him starting next year. I don't want him to be the starting defensive end next year.
Yeah, I agree. Like Hendrickson would be an upgrade. So
there's a lot that would, but yeah, those are guys.
And then like there's other guys like other mid-tier guys like Sheldon Rankins. Like I think would be a good piece to go get. Yeah,
love him.
And like you know, there's veteran corners, dude. I just want to get a slot corner that plays slot corner. Brian Poole.
It was a novel concept. Yeah,
Brian Poole, go get him.
Yeah,
put him. Hey, he plays slot corner. That's his freaking position.
Yeah,
pay him 1 year, $5 million. Problem solved.
You have Amik Robertson hopefully figuring it out year 2.
Yeah. So go get yourself a slot corner and go get yourself a safety that play the position naturally.
Okay.
And then but you don't have to spend $100 million to do that.
No, and they won't be able to. Yeah, they won't.
No, you go get Brian Poole, Rankins, and you solve 2 problems for $8 million.
Yeah,
Rankins, they're talking like $2 to $5 million 1 year deal.
Love it. No, I'm with you.
And he's your replacement if Hankins walks.
Yeah. Shit, man.
Which I hope he doesn't. But
yeah, I'm with you.
Hankins was our best defensive lineman last year.
Yeah, I just hate having him be like it's just, you pretty much say what you're trying to do when he's on the field. That's the only thing I don't like about the Raiders is like, okay, I have Jonathan Hankins on the field, you can pass first down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my whole problem with last year's team. And in the offseason was like be able to like do multiple things at once on defense. It's like, oh, let me put my run stopping defensive line out there. Oh, they passed? Shit. What do I do?
Too many one-dimensional
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I like him. I like Hankins. He's great. I'm just saying like you know, you want to have guys like I thought Mohurst played well last year. I like keep him.
No,
like,
so do I. Yeah.
Keep him. Like he doesn't have to start for you, but keep him in the rotation. There's no reason to get rid of him. You know,
and like Kendall Vickers actually played okay.
Yeah, I'm
I wouldn't
hoping
keep him, but I'm saying
exactly.
like when you have those guys outperforming high price guys, you know.
Malik Collins is gone. Get him out of here. So well, that's it, man. Like I said, we could go all night. We'll do it again in a couple weeks. Just for anybody who's listening, I am back. I'm probably going to do this bi-weekly or so. I got a lot of other stuff I do. So I'm going to do it probably bi-weekly. If there's a big event that happens, I'm back on the microphone, of course. So yeah, should be coming up. Probably get Marcus Johnson back on here pretty soon. And at Fattest Malin, Matt Fallon. What else you got going on? Plug it real fast before we go.
Yeah, man, just doing, you know, the blog thing, Raider Ramble. Just kind of pumping out some draft stuff here pretty soon. I've been kind of taking a break on the writing, so.
Well, whatever, man. Draft season is ramping up. It's a weird off season again, but I think it's going to open up a little bit as we get closer to the day. So combine coming up. That's going to be weird too. But yeah, definitely Raider Nation. I know we're negative a lot, but I think we're gonna fix it. Figure it out. We're gonna figure it out this year, guys. We're gonna figure it out this year. All right, guys. That's it for me. Peace out.
All right.